Okay, so what is it like living in a part of the world that's only accessible by ferry? Well, today I've got to go on a ferry. I've got to take the bike down to the main dealer to get a recall done. So, why don't you join me? See what it's like. I'm actually no stranger to the ferry service. I worked as a deckhand for a while. Because you got to get all the certificates necessary. You got to have marine emergency duties and basic safety training certificate and marine survival craft, and you learn about how to put out fires on board and save lives and all the rest of it. But
you know where you're going?
straight down to the front.
In front of 10.
Front of 10. Thank you. Have a good one.
But it's not cheap. It's cost me somewhere in the region of $5,000 to gain all that certification, all that training before you actually get an interview. But the job itself isn't actually that bad. Long shifts, 10-hour shifts, but yeah, it's not a bad job, that.
Because the best thing about being a bike on the ferries, you get right to the front of the queue, and which I'm not gonna lie, probably pisses off a few people. But on a day like this it's not bad, but when it's pissing it down with rain and it's cold, at least they get to sit in their cars. We don't get anywhere to shelter. Swings and roundabouts, Stephen. Swings and roundabouts.
So the first ferry departs at 6:20 a.m. You got to be there, I don't know, 30 minutes before that. So yeah, nice and early. Straight to the front, and here we go.
Mrs. M used to catch this ferry every day at one time. When she was based, she used to commute into Vancouver every day, and she had, at that time, we had the only way that it would be possible to do this would be to have two cars. Well, she had two cars, so she would park one car in the car park at Langdale, jump on the ferry as a foot passenger, and then she had another car which was left overnight in the car park in Horseshoe Bay. So she'd walk off the ferry, jump in her second car, and drive into work, and then reverse the trip at night when she'd done. So yeah, that was hard work. And at that time, we lived probably 45 minutes away from the ferry terminal. That's before we actually moved to Gibson's. So she would have to drive. She would drive 45 minutes in the morning to the ferry terminal, making sure that she's there, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes as a foot passenger before it left. And then at the other end of the day, when the ferry arrived back in Langdale, she'd then have to drive another 45 minutes to home. So from Langdale to Horseshoe Bay, we're looking at approximately 9 nautical miles, and the trip takes anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not a bad day at the office. Seriously. I mean, it's inconvenient. Obviously, it's inconvenient. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's one thing I might mention, the deck. Obviously you can see it's a steel deck. That gets really slippy sometimes. And because the motorcycle's always park in the same place on a boat, you get the odd Harley Davidson that's been dripping oil and you'll know about it. It's very easy for a boot to slip. I'd hate to drop my bike at that point because it's like the whole world will be watching you. But yeah, you just got to be very careful. Just be very careful at that bit. It can be very slippy. There is one consolation, of course, jumping off a ferry at this time in the morning, because by now we're the ferry left at 6:20, 45 minutes, so we're kind of fast approaching 7:20, something like that. The roads are relatively quiet, so Normally this road, this highway, would be chocker at your normal commute time, but at this time in the morning, as you can see, I mean, it's beautiful. Look at that. And just over on the right hand side there is the water. It's lovely. This is a lovely ride. It really is. So the reason why, as I mentioned, I had to bring it down to Vancouver was to get the second recall done on an issue that developed last year, where the reverse module on somebody's bike in some part of the world, it burst into flames. Apparently it got wet, and it set the bike on fire. So BMW decided that they would recall every bike, disconnect the reverse module on every bike, and they offered compensation. And in this case, in Canada, we were offered $1,350, which you had to exchange for aftermarket bits, which I thought was a good deal, really, because I never used the reverse gear. It's good to have it if you need it, I suppose. So now this visit is, they've got the fix, they've got the new module, it's all good to go. So they're going to put it back to how it was and reset the management system on it, and send us on our way. And I got to be honest, I think they've handled it really well. I think, a lot of people are having a beef on the forums about I bought a bike with the reverse gear, etc., etc., and now I can't use it, and blah, blah, blah. But I think they handled it wonderfully. I'm very impressed.
So it may not escaped notice of some of you more observant types that I'm very, very early, and part of the problem with it is an issue. The ferries run a schedule, obviously, and to get here for 9:15, which is what you've got to do. You've got to get your bike to the dealer first thing, so you can get it on the bench first thing, and you wait for it. But there are two ferries in the morning. There's the 6:20 in the morning, which is the one that I caught, and the next one is kind of like an hour and a half later. And if I caught that one, then I'd be too late. So you kind of got to wait. We wait now. We wait for it to open. I've got an hour to kill for the place to open. And it is what it is. Nice ride though. Lovely day. Lovely day.
So it's back to the ferry. The sum total of the time taken today. So I left the house at 5:30 this morning. Got to the terminal at about 5:45. Ferry left on time. Ferry left at 6:20 this morning. Got us to Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal at 7 a.m. Got to the dealers at 7:45. They did the work. Please. Seven and then 83. Thank you. Got back to the Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal at 12:38. The next ferry in was 2:10, but that was running late. So that left at 2:40, and that got me home at 3:30 in the afternoon. So the whole trip took 10 hours. 10 hours. The bike was in the workshop from 9, 10, 11. The bike was in the workshop about 3 hours. And the whole day took to about 10 hours. Look, it is what it is. It's not the most convenient method of getting from A to B. There is a schedule to adhere to, and you live with it. Doing it every day would get a little tedious, I'm sure. But my take on this, the ferry, I guess, is the reason why the Sunshine Coast is how it is. This is a community. We're kind of isolated from the. I'm not going to say mainland because we're not an island, but we are isolated. It is a community. It's relatively small compared to Vancouver, which is, Vancouver is literally 20 minutes away from the Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal. So we're kind of we're isolated over here. It's small, it's nice, it's a community, and I think it's wonderful, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Having said that, we're moving, so and I don't think we will ever buy a house again that is reliant on a ferry. But hey, you can't have everything. As I said at the start of this video, yeah, swings and roundabouts, Stephen. Swings and roundabouts.